Sports Plus is sponsored by Compliant Solutions, simplified compliance for empowered businesses.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Plus. I am Corey Miller. We will sit down with an all-time great Olympian and humanitarian, Kristi Yamaguchi, as well as dive into the story of how St. Louis was nearly a major part of the yearly NFL product on Thanksgiving Day. But we start with the Billikens. SLU men's soccer shocked much of the soccer world by beating powerhouse Indiana on the road last week. Now they get their shot in the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. And so, for tonight's main event, we head to Rhode Island for the battle between Bryant and SLU in the third round of the Big Dance. A rainy night in the country's smallest state as the Bills battled the Bulldogs of Bryant. SLU strikes first. Off the corner kick, Quentin Blair is there. He heads that in. Billikens go up 1-0. Bryant scored the next two goals, but SLU gets a break. As Theo Franca goes for a loose ball, he gets tangled up with the Bulldog keeper. Refs say PK for SLU, and then Blair delivers on the PK. His second of the night ties things at 2. This game went the distance and then some. We went all the way to PKs, and SLU's star and goal stepped up. Jeremy Albonell makes 2 huge saves in the shootout to send SLU to the Elite Eight, where they will face Akron next weekend. Back in St. Louis, we had a Sweet 16 battle of 2 local teams at the women's D2 level, UMSL and Maryville. Scoreless amongst the snow until UMSL converts. Natalie Scott is in front to clean up that initial save off the corner kick. 1-0 Tritons. Second half, UMSL on the attack again. This time it's Ella Anselm. She converts in front. 2-0 Tritons. Maryville would get on the board thanks to a late goal from Elsa Nielsen-Herdig, but it wasn't enough. UMSL wins 2-1 to advance to the D2 Elite Eight. Mizzou football finished the regular season 8-4 after yesterday's 31-17 win over Arkansas. Ahmad Hardy ran for 157 yards, and Kevin Coleman had an electric punt return touchdown. The Tigers slotted in at 25th in the final AP poll of the regular season. After the game, we heard from Coach Eli Drinkwitz for the first time since signing his new contract extension, and he had plenty to say.
At the end of the day, college football is going to have to change all this stuff, man. Like, we've got to figure this out where we're not putting pressure on coaches and programs and people during the middle week where there's nothing but speculation. I mean, we've got Twitter trending with bets on who's going to be leading or get this job, and I was the leading bet getter for a job I never interviewed for. That's annoying. That's bull crap, okay? And it's just speculation. It's just media throwing stuff on the wall, and it's tough on everybody. It's tough on players. It's tough on coaches.
The Sports Trailblazer of the Week is sponsored by Don Brown Chevrolet, the home of the Don Brown deal.
How about this for a Trailblazer? The St. Pius football program down in Festus had never made it to a state championship until this weekend. The Lancers beat Monroe City on a touchdown in the closing minutes to punch their ticket to the Class II state championship game on Saturday. Congrats to Coach Ray and the Lancers.
This Sports Plus conversation is sponsored by your Quality Ford dealers. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years.
She has a gold medal, she's in the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, and now she has a Musial Award for sportsmanship as well. Kristi Yamaguchi is one of our country's most celebrated Olympians of all time. I recently sat down with her to talk about her Olympic memories and her view of the much-hyped 2026 Olympic figure skating team. My conversation with the 1992 Olympic gold medalist is tonight's Sunday Conversation. Kristi Yamaguchi, Musial Lifetime Award for Sportsmanship. I say that out loud, and just what do you think?
Wow, it sounds amazing, and it's just a huge honor, and especially seeing some of the past recipients, and many of them idols and mentors of mine. So, and obviously being named after Stan. I mean, Stan the man, right? And everything he represented, and wanting to carry on that legacy.
I've always wondered, after you win a gold medal, how life changes. It's different than winning a World Series or winning a Stanley Cup. I've always felt that winning a gold medal is different. How would you describe just how life changes when you become a gold medalist?
Well, you know, in a lot of Olympic sports, and especially Winter Olympics, you're kind of an unknown going into the games, and it's kind of your one moment to shine. You know, Olympics are every 4 years. For the athletes, it's every day, we say, but you know, you kind of come from the unknown and all of a sudden a household name, because nowadays, you know, the Olympics is watched by, you know, billions around the world. So it's pretty incredible when you have success there and then you come home and all of a sudden life is a lot different.
I read that Dorothy Hamill was your idol growing up. You're millions of people's idol now. How does that feel to kind of be in that role?
I mean, it's very humbling. I think looking back, it was really scary at 20 years old. It's like, ooh, what does that mean? What do I have to do? Like, what am I, you know, you don't want to do the wrong thing. But I think easing into it and realizing you just have to be yourself and, you know, be as positive as you can, and you know, it works for some people and it doesn't for others, and that's okay. So, you know, be who you are.
A few things about this upcoming Olympic team. We obviously have the championships here in St. Louis coming up in January. A lot of excitement for this year's United States figure skating squad that we're going to be sending to the Olympics. What has you excited about them? What do you think they can do?
Well, it is exciting, and you're going to see the best in the country here in St. Louis, so it's a must-see for sure. And then the excitement of the Olympic team members being named the day after the championships conclude. So very, very exciting. A lot of competition. I mean, the men's are probably locked in with Ilya Malinin, who has been changing the game in men's figure skating worldwide for the last several seasons. But the women's event is going to be a battle. We have some experienced skaters. You have the comeback of Alyssa Liu, you know, Amber Glenn, who is at the top of her game right now, and then Isabel Levito and Brady Tennell, who's a veteran. So it's going to be a fight to see who's going to end up on that Olympic team.
You mentioned a couple names I was going to ask you about. You know what it takes to compete at the highest level. Alyssa stepping away for the time she did and coming back, how just impressive is what she's in the middle of accomplishing right now?
Oh, it's incredible. I think everyone was excited to hear her come back because, you know, at 16 and retiring, there was just, oh, there's a little bit more left in you, Alyssa, come on. I was like so sad when she retired, and to see her come back, and the reason for it, you know, she said she found the joy again. She realized that it was still really fun for her, and she showed that, and I think surprised herself that she came away with a world title within months of returning back to competition. So, you know, she has another full year under her belt and is just going to get, you know, better and better as February approaches.
Every little movement you do on the ice matters and could be the end of your dreams, essentially. How did you lock in mentally, and what do you tell maybe younger athletes coming up about kind of that aspect of it?
You know, it comes down to consistency, and you hear that a lot in skating because, yes, you only have, you know, 6.5 minutes to go out there and prove you're the best or deserve a medal, and there's no room for mistakes. You know, when your body's trained to do something, then even under pressure, sometimes you have to fall back on that because I know for sure in my Olympic performance, I had no idea if I was going to land my last jump, or second to last jump in my program. It was the triple Lutz, and I was skating into it, and I was so scared. And as I was in the air, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna fall. Like, I'm not landing this, and somehow I was on my feet at the end, and it was, I'm telling you, it was pure training that kicked in at that point.
Final thought, if folks are watching the Olympics in a couple of months and they show some 1992 highlights of your gold medal, and you know, there's some kids watching, they didn't get to see you in person, but their parents know who you are, what would you hope the parents said about you?
You know, I hope they just say, you know, it was a memory of, you know, inspiration when you're cheering for someone, and they somehow pull through, and it inspires them to go after their dreams as well, or get over that hump or face a fear or something, whatever that might be, and hopefully they could pass it on to their kids and encourage them maybe to find someone that's current day that can inspire them.
When I say Turkey Day football in St. Louis, I think I can predict what your answer is going to be. But did you know there was a time when it could have become the NFL and the long-gone football Cardinals? However, to use a football analogy, it was a fumble at the goal line. Senior producer Andy Mueller has tonight's Spotlight story.
The table is set. It is a hoedown. And hello, friends, and happy Thanksgiving.
While Detroit has been the NFL home for Turkey Day football annually since 1945, Dallas has been a Thanksgiving stop as far back as 1966.
The 26-14 win kept Dallas in first place.
But it could have been St. Louis. Cowboys GM and league influencer Tex Schramm was a visionary, and he secured a Thanksgiving Day game for the Cowboys when no other team wanted it. The Big Red played in Big D in the 1967 game, losing big 46-21. But the Bidwell brothers, Bill and Stormy, especially Bill, couldn't stand anything favoring the Cowboys and lobbied the league for years to get in on the Turkey Day fun. Finally, the league acquiesced. The Cardinals would host a game in odd-numbered years, the Cowboys in even-numbered years. But, like most things that happened during their time in our city, it slipped through their fingers.
I'm drooling off my drumstick here, waiting to see this matchup. I think it's the best individual matchup now we've had in football this year.
NBC's legendary Kurt Gowdy was looking forward to calling the Cardinals hosting the Buffalo Bills in 1975. The Cardiac Cards were at their peak, marching to a second straight division title under Don Coryell. The Bills had a record-setting running back named O.J. Simpson.
These are two high-scoring ball clubs, big play teams, which I think what's pro football all about.
Snow hit St. Louis that day. The Bills only got into town a couple of hours before game time. Easy pickings, right? It was for Buffalo. The Bills rumbled and ran over the Big Red, winning 32-14.
The Cardinals' six-game winning streak came to a sudden end. 7 turnovers contributed to a decisive defeat.
The next year, the Cardinals went to Dallas. Again, the Cardinals scored 14 points and lost, but this one was a heartbreaker that came down to a pair of special teams plays. An improvised fake punt by Danny White that led to a score, and a blocked Terry Joyce punt resulting in a safety.
We're just going to get better. We have to. There's no reason why not to.
Could you lay it onto the schedule? The fact that you played 3 great games in a row and you got them so close together?
Well, you can make any excuses you want about it. We just didn't play good football in the first quarter.
After a lackluster win against Philadelphia in 1977, their 6th in a row, the Big Red were 7-3 and a game behind Dallas in the standings, with Miami coming up for Thanksgiving. Oh boy. After scoring first, the Cardinals went to sleep. Miami scored 48 consecutive points. Quarterback Bob Greasy, who recently begun wearing glasses, set a career high with 6 touchdown passes. Meanwhile, a brawl broke out late in the game. And in a surprise to no one, Conrad Dobler, the dirtiest player in the NFL by reputation, was ejected.
I can't fight 3. I was lucky to be able to fight the guy that threw me to the ground because I was on the bottom. And I get thrown out. So that's the way they call it. And that's the way it should be.
As bad as the 55-14 drubbing was, it marked the beginning of the end of the Coryell era. The Cards lost their remaining 3 games, and Coryell's resentments against Bill Bidwell and his family targeted by angry fans boiled over.
I'm deeply apologetic for being such a fool.
I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. I don't want anybody to think that I didn't mean some of the things I said.
The Cardinals never hosted another Thanksgiving game, Besides looking like turkeys for those 3 years, there was growing resentment the game was overshadowing the annual Webster-Kirkwood rivalry game.
Happy Thanksgiving. As you look at the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, the atmosphere is electric. You can tell that.
The NFL went back to the Cowboys and gave them the second Thanksgiving game forever. Tex Schramm gloated in the Big Red's loss, saying, quote, "It was a dud in St. Louis," end quote. The Cardinals have only played on Turkey Thursday 3 times since. Not even Kurt Warner could change the Cardinals' fortune, losing to the Eagles in 2008.
And it's a touchdown.
The cumulative Cardinal Thanksgiving record since that 1967 game? A perfect 0-7. The Rams were never invited to play on Thanksgiving while they were here, so those of a certain age will only have those bitter 50-year-old memories to gnash on. While the Frisco Bell tradition rings anew every year. For Sports Plus, I'm Andy Moeller.
NFL action today, and who are these Carolina Panthers? The 9-2 Rams came to town, and the Panthers picked off Matthew Stafford twice. This one for a touchdown. He hadn't been intercepted since week 3. One-time top overall pick Bryce Young may finally be becoming a top-level quarterback. He matched the Rams score for score. This TD pass to Tataroa McMillan put Carolina on top. They are now 7-6, winning 31-28. Don't look now, but here come the JETS Jets hosting Atlanta. It's the former Trinity and Illini star Isaiah Williams taking the kickoff and bursting into the open field. He will go 83 yards to set up a Jets score. Later on, it's Nick Folk, a 56-yarder to win the game, just sneaking through the bottom corner. Jets win their 3rd of the year, 27-24. Cardinals on the road facing Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. My favorite play of the day, Mayfield to offensive lineman Tristan Wirfs. First career touchdown for the big man, Tampa on top. Later on, Mayfield hands to Bucky Irving, who looks healthy on this run. He's in for another score. Cardinals did have a final gasp, down 3 points, but Jacoby Brissett's 4th down pass hits the turf and Tampa Bay wins 20-17. Time now for the Victory Men's Health, Frankly Speaking. And of course, we're talking about Mizzou football. This past week, the program signed Eli Drinkwitz to a 6-year extension with a raise that will pay him nearly $11 million a year. Some other fan bases scoffed at the decision, but the fact is, it's the right decision. Yes, Drinkwitz has not won the big game yet, with multiple heartbreaking misses coming up just short, but he has avoided losing the bad game. His program has 29 wins over the past 3 seasons, and it could be 30 wins with a bowl victory in a few weeks. He's been one of the best coaches in the country at utilizing the transfer portal. The high school recruiting is still strong, and the NIL situation at Mizzou only seems to be improving. Is he the guy who's taken Missouri to the promised land? Well, no, not yet, but I haven't seen anything yet to tell me he can't be that guy eventually. That's our show for tonight. For senior producer Andy Moeller, I am Corey Miller. Have a great night, St. Louis.
Working the right side. Ahmad Hardy breaks some more tackles and stays on his feet. He's had some great runs, but this might be the best one of the season. 53 yards for Hardy.
I call this man undeniable. When you think you have him down, you do not. The outside.
Continue with us on 5+. Download on